defeated for a while. All right, folks. Well, here we go. This is
Yeah.
this is season seven, and this lovely young lady who's an incredible singer is my guest today. Hope I'm saying this right. Jaclyn Kenyon, is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jaclyn and I are just getting to know each other. I was on Instagram and her promo for her new album, Scars, which comes out in 3 days from now.
Crazy.
It's
Yeah.
March 23rd, man.
Crazy.
Looks amazing. And then she was telling this story to her Instagram followers, which are there's 14,400 and something right now, which I'm hoping is going to grow to exponential growth on that. But I was just reading your posts and watching you tell your story about what happened to you in the music business, and all I could think to myself was, wow, I think this story would be something great for especially young artists to hear. And you got into the business really young, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I was 12 years old when I started doing it professionally, but I was just a baby when I started picking up piano and guitar and
Wow.
learning how to write songs. So it was always in my blood, and I would put on these little concerts for my family when I was a kid, and I loved it. That's all I wanted to do.
The family concerts when you're a kid. I used to have to sing when I was a boy soprano. I used to have to sing. I had to sing Mary Poppins songs for my family.
Oh, so fun.
I've never told anyone that, so don't you repeat that.
Okay, we'll keep it between us.
Yeah, but you're 12, you're doing all this stuff, and then somehow you ended up on kind of like a American Idol type show, and you're from Canada, right?
Yeah, yeah, born and
So,
raised in Canada.
well, then how did you get to Nashville or wherever that show was to get on this huge stage in front of all these people and sound so great? I watched those videos. You're amazing live. I couldn't believe
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, so good.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's such a long story behind all of that, but the Coles notes of it was that I was doing music for a really long time in Canada. I was on this or not TV show, on this show called Honey Jam, and Honey Jam had launched the careers of Nelly Furtado and Julie Black at the time, and I was 12 on this show, so I was a baby.
Okay.
And it led to a bunch of different opportunities happening with Warner Music in Canada because they had sponsored it.
Hmm.
And I was in writing rooms. I was working as a writer constantly in Canada, and people didn't believe that the songs were mine because I was so little and was writing on really deep things as a
Right.
12-year-old. And my parents really just supported and saw my dream and my vision and wanted to help me make it come true. And at the time, Howard Benson Studios in LA gave me an opportunity with this amazing producer and engineer named Mike Pletnikoff to do an artist development deal out there. So I moved out to LA. I did a deal with them, and I was just trying to find my sound and my style. And then I've kind of realized quickly that maybe LA wasn't really the spot for me, and I wanted to just keep exploring. I was young, I was trying to figure stuff out. So I just always felt like Nashville was something that was on my heart.
Okay.
And my parents had brought me out to Nashville, and a producer that I was working with in Toronto at the time ended up moving to Nashville. And he was like, well, let's also just write with artists here and
Hmm.
try to figure out your style and your genre, because I was doing rock
Country.
and yeah, rock. So it was like, let's try everything, let's figure everything out. And then this TV show had come out of being in Nashville and working with all of these guys, and one of the writers specifically was like, there's a TV show, they need a girl. I don't know too much about it, I can't give you too much information, but there's an audition at the Nashville Municipal Arena for you if you
Wow.
want it. And I was like, oh my goodness, because we were in this transition period, and that's
Now,
kind of all.
wait a minute. Now, are you like 12 and a half at this point, or?
No, this is like a
Oh,
decade later. I feel like we started when we started talking. It was like I have to go like 12 years now
Wow. Well,
from the
yeah.
time that I
Well,
was in Canada, because
right.
there's a lot of stuff that happened before the TV show.
Sure.
But yeah, it was a crazy experience. And so I auditioned for this show, and then the producer came right up to me after and was like, "Welcome. We can't wait to have you. You move into this. There was a mansion with 24 people. They're like, you move into this mansion on Wednesday.
What?
Can't wait to have you part of the show." It was a 10-week series of filming, a lot of work. We got to make a band out of the TV show, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, and
It's kind of like MTV's The Real World, but for musicians or something.
yeah, 100% it is. Yeah, so
Okay.
they take
Oh,
25 people, they throw you into this mansion, they expect you all to get along, and then
right.
they make bands out of the 25 people. So I was in a band called Starland, and I was the lead singer.
Starland was the thing where there's the guy that has that's like the hair only grows on the right side of his head. Who's that guy? I looked at that guy. I was like, wow, man, he's nuts. He's like a mutant. He only has hair on one side of his head. And then I thought, oh no, that's supposed to be cool. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's super cool.
Oh
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
we're a punk rock band. So
You guys were a punk band. Well, who was the person out of that 25 that really gave you the worst time? Because pretty girls are always hated. So
honestly, honestly,
were
we
they
did
cool or what?
not really like, I know this sounds so kind of me, but like I really loved everyone on that show. I There was drama for sure outside of our band, just with everything going on,
Mm,
as you can imagine putting 25 people in the same household for 10 weeks, what's going to
that's
happen. But
that's a lot of people.
yeah, but honestly, like I really truly loved everyone and had so much fun, and we all got along great, and like we became a family. Like when you're going through something like that, it's such a
Yeah,
weird experience and no one really understands from the outside, 'cause you're in this situation together that you've
right.
never. Yeah, it's just not normal. So,
No, it's the same thing
we
with.
still talk to this day.
Oh wow, well, it's the same thing
Yeah.
with touring, and it's always been hard for me to get my own family or my girlfriend or spousal equivalent to understand the kind of bonds that you have. You know, going over because I did a lot of European tours and several world tours, and you're just out in the middle of nowhere in
Yeah.
some, BFE, right? And then you've got four or five other people. They're all away from their wives. They're all away from their kids. In those days, the cell phones didn't work,
Oh
so
yeah, it's so hard.
you become like a traveling minstrel family with your own dramas and relationships. It's a whole ecosystem and stuff. So okay, so you do
Absolutely.
the show. The band is Starland. The band is great. I love the guy with the missing hair. And then what happens? Is it like American Idol, where at the end they give you a record deal, or what happened to you?
Yeah, so at the end there was a record deal that was presented,
Okay.
and that was, yeah, pretty much a part of the show. So each week on the show there would be a different theme that you would have to write about. So it could be like a novelty song, a love song, anything, for over 10 weeks. And we would have to go and perform that song, write the song, record the song, all in a
Wow.
matter of a week, and then go into this municipal arena and present it in front of judges. And they would judge each band each week on who did the best song. And then at
Hmm.
the end of the show, they tally up your amount of wins throughout the season, and whoever won so many points uh, ends up getting the record deal. So our band had won the show, and it was insane. Crazy, crazy experience.
So then, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, and then it was followed by a 2-year delay. And I mean, there's so many things that I could say, and there's so many things that um, have upset me so much about that situation. But also, I've learned so much through it. And in everything that happened, Scars was born, the project that I'm now
Right.
releasing.
Right.
So there has been, a light at the end of the tunnel through all of it, but it was a really hard situation of just things that didn't happen.
You're
And
you're under
I,
contract there for 2 years, and I remember being on Warner Brothers and doing this album, and I'd worked 2 years on the album, and then I finished it. It was supposed to come out, but then they didn't
yeah.
put it out,
Oh man.
and it was because a famous drummer in LA died during that time, so the label put all these
Oh,
people together to do this tribute album to the guy that just died. And I'm like, what about my album? And they
oh
said,
man.
oh, well, and it takes a long time. Like I worked two years on that record, and then
Wow.
anything that I was creating fresh, I couldn't record it.
So
And
frustrating.
And
Oh,
that's crazy because once you sign these deals with the majors or even some of the top indies, you really lose pretty much all control over what you're trying to do.
yeah, absolutely. For sure. And it was a really hard moment. And in saying that, it was a moment that grew me, and I appreciate you saying that. You still feel like I have a light in me because during that time it was a really dark spot and a really dark and hard season, and thankfully I was able to get through that. And
Did you move back to Canada?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Uh,
And yeah, during that time I moved back to Canada. I was a little fed up with the industry at that point in my life, and I was just contemplating what I wanted to do next and what my next step was, and
mm,
that was really where this all came from and where this next
okay,
chapter is coming from.
that's where the new stuff came from. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it seems maybe this is just a Captain Obvious kind of question, but Um, I'm sure you had that contract that had you tied up. I'm sure you had it looked at by lawyers. What did they say? Did they say they could get you out of it, or did you have to just wait until the time passed, or what?
You just abide to what you've signed. So,
Oh man, that's crazy. So you waited it out, then you had 2 years of waiting it out, and then what happened to the other 24 people? Did they all have to wait it out too, or?
I honestly don't know. I really don't.
Okay, yeah, because those sort of things. People that I've interviewed and know personally that were winners on American Idol were really frustrated with those contracts because they get one guy. It was like the first four albums they own, the first four albums,
It's crazy.
and
Crazy.
then they get out there on tour, and it's a standard thing on tour where
Mm,
the winner of American Idol, and you do all these gigs, and thousands of people come, and the venues are amazing, and then at the end of the quarter, these record companies do everything quarterly. They say, oh well, we spent $10,000 on French fries, and then
yeah.
you had a really nice trailer, and that driver wasn't cheap. He was 5 grand a week, and you're just going, man. So, but you didn't
Yeah.
end up with a bill, right? At the end of that, it was just a waiting period.
It's just a waiting period.
Okay, so during that waiting period, that's when you started with the, you know, ideas for this new album that's coming out in a couple of days. So tell me more about Scars. That's your new project.
Yeah. Yeah, so scars came from really being stuck for that time frame and feeling like I had lost control and feeling like I had to put my career on hold. I never had been in that situation before, and
Uh,
I fought so hard to be down in Nashville doing what I absolutely love to do, and
right.
the more that I started opening up about the situation because it had been, it had been my story for a long time before I had actually opened up and told anybody.
Mm,
So it was a very difficult thing to post online. And when I had, I was just flooded with so many comments and messages privately of people that have also been in that position. And
right.
it was something where I was like, oh my goodness, it makes me so sad that, you know, we're in an industry where we don't have as much control as I think that we do. And I think what's amazing right now is so many different artists can have opportunities independently
Mm,
before finding that right team now. to be able to do this themselves and to be able to build it up. So yeah, it's been really exciting for me to see the light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of other people as well. And this project really just birthed the whole new excitement in me and fire because I had to make a choice. I remember I was sitting in my room one night and it was like, you can continue feeling this way and feeling sorry for yourself and being upset about all the things that did or didn't work out, or you can really smarten up, you can take control, you can do what you want to do, and you can regain complete ownership of your life and your career. And I it was a hard decision for myself to like take yourself out of that slump because I've never been there before. I was never somebody
Hmm.
that, you know, I at least I thought at the time like struggled deeply with anxiety and control, and that pulled it out of me. I was like, oh my goodness, I have always kind of secretly struggled with this, and it really came out at that time. And so um, I needed to write about it, and I needed to be a
Wow,
voice for people.
that's really amazing. The thing that I always tell people about those decisions that you make when you go to Hollywood or New York or Nashville is that basically the price for making it big, like, most of these big pop singers, the price is your soul.
Yeah.
That's what the price is. So if you're willing to, cross over into the dark side, it can happen really fast. And
Oh, I bet.
I've watched some people. I worked with a young singer named Olivia Olson for a number of years, and she was the little girl that sang "All I Want for Christmas Is You" in that Liam Neeson
Oh,
movie.
okay.
Yeah, so
Very cool.
yeah, so I worked with her for a few years. She was 9 when I met her.
Wow.
So from about, like, I don't know, 9 to 13 or so, I worked with her parents and with her, and she was doing amazing stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
and her dad's a television writer, but she just always got passed up for these TV show
Mm.
roles when she would have been perfect. And the main one that I remember is a show called That's So Raven.
Oh yeah, that's the Raven. That used to be
Yeah,
my favorite show growing up.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Olivia was supposed to win that role,
Wow.
and instead, through politics or something else, I don't know what it was, but it was really super unfair because I knew that family. I knew uh, how solid they were. I knew how funny Olivia was and super talented songwriter. Like at 9 years
Mm-hmm.
old, she was
Yeah, that's
writing
crazy.
songs about her grandparents that were number one hits and all this
Wow.
stuff. But it was a very frustrating experience for that family because here, things didn't always go the way that they wanted, and you have to, if you do get the opportunity to sign your life away, a lot of times it works out the way that it did for you. And then you have the reflective period of going, oh my God, I almost this, I almost that. But
Hmm.
out of the darkest depression, some of my most beautiful songs have come out of just being just so upset
Yeah.
and
It's
being
weird how that happens.
right, and being
Yeah.
so angry. And I always tell people that that's where you can really channel that anger. That's what the depression and the sadness and the insecurity, all of that is to go towards music that expresses that you can share with people. So um, I haven't heard the whole album. I didn't find a link to where I could hear it. But what is um, your most representative ballad on the record where you're really channeling all that pain and stuff? I'm sure there's at least one of those on there.
Yeah. So the biggest song, well, there's two. So the biggest song for me is called Control.
Okay.
And Control is a rock heavy song about me just getting angry. I was always just in like a very just kind all the time, like nice image. And I still I'm trying to like be cautious how I say this because I still am that person and I still always wanted to be that. I didn't ever really let myself get angry. I think I just let people dictate how I should feel for so long in my
Hmm.
career, just from working with so many people and, being told, oh, you should sing like this or do this because this sounds good and this sounds cool. And I'm trusting people that are professionals that have done it. And a lot of them were very, very right. But a lot of them also weren't. And as I grew up, I saw that and it all made me who I was today. And so one of the songs on that record is called Control, and it's all just about taking taking ownership back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nutty thing because as you become, you end up in these meetings and these recording studios and on TV sets and in green rooms. And, I did that myself as an artist and a lot of it with Olivia and some other artists. And you just start seeing all the bias and the prejudice and people
Oh
making
yeah.
decisions that make absolutely no sense. And then having to do a song 7 times in a row when the first and the second takes were perfect. And then all of a sudden, then you lose out to somebody who can't sing at all. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of maddening the way that all of that stuff works. So you were in Canada, you're writing all these things down, you're planning you said it's not a comeback, but it's a reinvention or something. Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now the album's going to come out this week. Everybody go, I'm going to put the links from that TV show in the
Oh, thank you.
description on the video so you can watch her live. I mean, and that was the thing too, is I've heard a lot of sad stories because I'm not a young man, right? So I was like, oh, here's another one sobbing on Instagram, oh, my
Mm,
problems, this and that. But the
yeah.
difference that I found with you is that you didn't let the circumstances and the things that happened to you crush and defeat you, because I see artists, I get hit up by artists all the time, will you produce me, or
Yeah.
what about the Grammys and this, that, and the other thing. And you were just defiant, man. You're just like, I'm not going down, bro.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not going down.
yeah, it was again, like it was hard. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There was so many days that I was like, do I just give up? Like, is this just not for me? Like you can only break so much.
Yeah,
But there was also this moment of like, is there anything else that I can see myself doing? No. Is there anything else that I want to do? No. Do I feel like I'm here for a purpose and that God's given me this gift to use it? Yes. So I
yeah.
have to figure it out. I
I
gotta
know
figure it out.
exactly. I mean, I've had people that have heard me play live, and my albums are good, but when I play live, I get reactions of just astonishment. People are just blown out, and I've worked hard to develop my talent and stuff too. But to your point, when they say, "Man, why? How did you get to? I've never heard anything like that. Like, what is your secret and how did you do it?" And I say the point is that I suck at everything else. Like,
Yeah.
I can't keep my car floor mats clean. I've struggled tying my shoes on every other Wednesday. But this thing, I could really kick ass. That is
That's
my
your
thing.
thing. Yeah.
And so, I noticed that in your spirit and your music too. So now going back to the whole idea about, being a successful indie without the major label help and stuff. So have you assembled a group of people around this album that you feel confident in? Or are you still looking for people to help you or what?
Yeah, to this stage in this spot, yes, but I also know that I need a lot more help. But I have about 3 people right now that have just been helping me with everything that I need to do. I've done a lot of this on my own too, and I've taken a lot of weight, more than normal,
Right.
just because I've relied on so many people for so long. But when I lost that, control over my career, it was something where I was like, I need to do this myself as much as possible
Right.
because I don't think that anyone is going to work as hard on my team as I'm going to work.
Right.
And when I really started sitting down for scars, I was like, I want my family involved as much as I can because they're the people that I trust the most. I want my
Hmm.
husband involved as much as I can because he's the one I trust the most. And someone just to help me with filming and editing. And so I found that team and I've just been riding it out right now with them. And I've had a lawyer who's been with me since I was 13 who I just adore and love. And so our team is small right now, to be honest, but it's never been small. And this is new for me, but
Right.
I'm at the most peace in my life that I've ever been in. So until that, you know, team comes to try to make it bigger and move stuff, then I'm open if they love and are as excited about the music as I am. But right now I'm happy and I just feel so at peace creating music and not having all these hands in the basket trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's very invasive. Like I just found I would be, working with an artist or, in certain situations with people telling me what to do and how my music was supposed to sound. And I took all that super personally.
Oh yeah.
It was like if you're kidnapping my child or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like, well, maybe you ought to do this. Well, maybe you ought to shut up. That was how I felt. But I could never say that
Mhm.
because I was going to lose a deal or I was going to make an agent angry or somebody at a radio station. And,
Yeah.
that I think you getting on the radio is super important because the whole deal with Spotify and the way it works now in comparison to how it did when I was getting going, I think it's a lot more frustrating, but also, in my opinion, is deceptive for any of us to think that we could do it by ourselves because nobody
You
can.
just can't.
And
No.
the amount of stuff, I know some artists that I've, helped through the Grammys, that I've met through the Grammys, that I've advised and stuff, and I see how they're approaching keeping their career going and stuff,
Mhm.
and I can just, you know, and especially when they're young and beautiful and talented, a lot of times they don't
Mhm.
want to hear any advice because they think they know everything. But if you could
Yeah.
get on a good indie and somebody who could put your music out, I've never found that my indie releases ever did what the major label releases did in terms of long term effects.
Mhm.
So I've done 40 albums of my own. I've been on three major labels, a couple of indies, and I've, like you, I had to get to a point of just like,
Mhm.
industry chewed me up and spit me out, left me on the side of the road dead, and I got to keep on doing it. And
Yeah.
I got really frustrated with that, but um, I'm not happy doing anything outside of music. I do a lot of engineering and producing and songwriting and piano stuff. Mostly a piano player and a writer. But if there is, um, if your lawyer can make moves on your behalf to get you with a label you really can work with, there are good labels out there.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's not very many of them. And then the other
Yeah.
thing about radio and record companies is you can build all this time in this relationship with somebody, and it's all going great, and then they get fired, and and then the nephew of the CEO steps in, that's fresh out of Berkeley School of Music. Well, you know what they taught us at Berkeley, and you just want to go, shut up. I've had enough. I want to
Yeah.
do this, but are you going to hire a radio promoter for this? What are you guys doing, and how do what's your plan here?
Right now there's so many different plans and so many things going on. But yes to all of those questions and really it's just about right now it's about the right team coming on that really understands the music and so it takes a village to make this happen. I wouldn't
Yeah,
ever be able to be who I am today or here on this call with you if it wasn't for a million people behind me, honestly, that have helped me throughout my whole entire life and career, good, bad, and the ugly. But yeah, it's really just about finding that team, and I'm excited and I'm hopeful, and I know that we will find that team. It's just up to this point, this is how I wanted to release Scars, and I know it's going to grow into something beautiful, and the right people have just seemed to come out of nowhere so far
Great.
to help when I needed, and it's been insane just seeing that. So I'm just having faith that it's just going to continue to do that.
Well, the work ethic that you've got is something I really find admirable because
Thank you.
there are so many young artists that I see that they'll run up against one obstacle and then they're done. You know, so they're
Hmm.
like, "Oh my God, I couldn't get that Louis Vuitton bag," and I had my heart set on that. It's
For some
oh
reason,
what
I like hitting walls. I don't
that's
know.
it's a
Yeah.
crisis, but I feel really confident on about you and on your behalf because I know what it's like to go through all the same similar kinds of things, and I can see
Mm,
that you still have light shining in your eyes.
thank
And
you.
if all of it goes to heck and nothing happens, you're gonna be fine.
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right? You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that initially just talking to you on Instagram and watching some of your stuff was like, man, so those obstacles and the things that happened were so bad and everything. I hope she's okay. I was just like,
Oh, thanks.
I hope you're gonna be all right. But
Yeah.
so the album is on Scars now. Is this an independent label you're releasing it on?
So this is all indie. Yep. And yeah, it's been really exciting. So it will start with three singles and then the EP drop in the summer.
Okay, so is
Yeah.
your record company what I would have named mine, which was I hate the music business. I'm done with Los Angeles, and I'm going on back to being on my own record.
Something like that for sure. Yeah.
And are you going to be playing live anywhere? When are you coming back to America?
Yeah, lots of live shows are going to be happening this summer. They will all be posted very shortly. And America, not too sure yet, but there's a lot of Canadian stuff happening this summer right now.
Really cool. So tell everybody your Instagram and where they can find you and your website and all that.
Yeah, so it's Jaclyn Kenyon. I spell it short and easy. So it's Jaclyn and then Kenyon music on all socials.
Great. Okay. And if
Yeah.
you had one sentence to give the young artists in America as we wrap up, I always just say, eat meat and don't kill yourself.
Eat meat and
But
don't kill yourself.
yeah, that makes a lot of people mad. So what would your advice be?
One sentence. Oh my goodness. I would just say keep going and have faith. Just keep going. Like everything's gonna work out. And there's life has a really funny, weird way of working itself out, but it always does work out.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Jaclyn Kenyon from Canada, from Ontario, Canada.
Yay! Thank you for having me, Rob.
Yeah, and her new album comes out on March the 26th, and I wish you all the
Thank you.
best. And I know a lot of people from the Grammys watch my interviews and stuff, so maybe there'll be some synchronicity there down the road. That would be great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rob. Thank you for having me and featuring this. It's really special to me, so thank you for your support.
All right, so that's going to do it for another episode of the Planet Mullins podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.